Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now, it's real time.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, we do our best to bring you the best experts from around here in the Northwest, different parts of the country if necessary, so that you can have the information that you need to be more successful. Now, y'all know that I never get to draw a rifle tag, and I'm chasing animals still at 52 years old with a stick and string. So I'm not obviously the brightest bulb in the bunch, but Scott Haugen is. World-renowned author, TV host, world traveler, doing this stuff year-round. And by the way, gets to eat some of the best food on the planet, well, because he goes and takes it himself. Scott, how are you, man? It's good to see you.
Hey, doing good, thanks.
Now, I know that to slow you down is not the easiest thing in the world, so I got to throw out there, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. What have you been up to this point in 2023, and what are you looking forward to now that the season is starting to change, it being the middle of September?
Yeah, things are starting to happen. Things are coming together kind of as planned. But right about May, I started getting pretty serious end of May about looking for blacktails. So I have a lot of cameras out. I think I have over 60 trail cameras out now in various places. And so I'm checking those. I've been checking those all summer. Been scouting all summer. Summer scouting was fantastic for blacktails. Some of the areas I couldn't get to because of fires, but those are starting to open back up again here. And with these cool nights, there's quite a bit of moisture on the ground in the early mornings. So that's good. A lot of these deer, especially with the dry conditions we've had, get a lot of their moisture from the vegetation. So scouting's been going good. Been doing some bird hunting. Pigeon season opened up here. Doves, gray squirrel opened in our area here. I live up in McKenzie River Valley here in Western Oregon, and spent a little over a week in Alaska earlier this month. Chased an antelope, had 24 points. Finally, been fortunate to hunt a lot of antelope all around the West, but this is my first time ever drawing an antelope tag, my home state of Oregon. So it's been a good season so far.
How exciting, an Oregon antelope tag. That's really cool. I've only taken one in my life. I had to travel all the way to Wyoming to get it, 'cause that's the only place I could draw a tag. That's really exciting. How many years did it take you to get that tag?
24. I had 24 points.
Wow.
So, well, and get this, I was wanting a big buck or nothing. So one thing about Oregon, I think we have the best opportunity to take a record buck in any given unit. There was all-time record rainfall in southeast corner of the state this year. I mean, you could have set duck decoys out in the sage. There was flooded sage everywhere. The goats were spread out everywhere. But I wanted a big buck or nothing. I passed, 11 shooters. I saw hundreds of antelope every day. Just didn't find the big one I wanted, and like I said, I've been fortunate to take a number of them. So I wanted a big one, but click the trigger on a dry chamber a couple times, thinking, gosh, this could have been, and walked away and called it good. No meat in the freezer. I love eating antelope, but it was a great hunt.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Absolutely. And obviously Scott gives a chance to travel all over and target different species all over the world, really. Okay, so Scott, we've got obviously we're in the middle of our bow season. That's what I'm focused on. It's actually really weird this year as a bow hunter in Oregon. They didn't extend our season, but they placed it a week later in the year. We're actually going to be in the woods this year, when actually rifle hunters would generally be showing up, so it's a little bit different. Exciting from my perspective, but for the hunters that are out there that have their rifle tags, does that change anything in how they scout, or how they actually would make their decision to get started this year, that they're going to be a little bit later in the year?
Yeah, it will, for two reasons. Number one that I mentioned earlier is we have this moisture on the ground now. So even though we've been having some warm days, where I've been hanging out looking for deer, doing pigeon hunting up in the hills, anywhere between like 700, 2,500 feet elevation, there's quite a bit of moisture on the ground. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep some of this food green, or green up some of the stuff that hasn't been green all summer. So you're going to find feeding bucks out there. You can still pattern these deer, even though they've shed their velvet. They're still very patternable this time of year. Some of the bigger bucks might let some of the smaller bucks move out ahead of them, but I think I think what's going to happen is this last season, or last week this season for the bow hunters could be really good. A little bit more quiet forest floor, a little bit more food for them to eat. So if you have an area where you're going to be rifle hunting, where you know the bow hunting pressure is heavy, I'd still get out there and scout. Early and late in the day, especially trying to find these bucks on the move. But what it's really going to do with this late start, not only with the archery but with the rifle season, it extended the rifle season too. So it goes to, I think the general blacktail season is November 10th this year. That's the latest I can remember since the 60s, early 70s. So there are going to be a lot of big bucks dying this year, that last few days of the season.
Now, he says it that way for a reason, everyone. They're delicious, and we love to target them. Thank goodness for hunters so that we have these animals to go and target. Trust me, if it weren't for the hunters that were doing that, they would have been gone a long, long time ago. The true conservationists are the hunters in the woods. It's just that simple. Okay, so you got your tag for Oregon antelope. You're targeting birds right now. I know that you have a lot that's on your table going forward. What's your next big hunt that's coming up? And any advice there that you might be able to throw out to help others that might be participating in a similar hunt that you've got coming up?
Yeah, well, I'll be hunting pigeons every day through Wednesday, I believe, and then Thursday I'm heading to Colorado just to do some elk photography. I do quite a bit of wildlife photography too for different companies, different magazines, all the writing that I do. So I'll be doing that for 4 or 5 days. From what I'm hearing from people, kind of all across the board, is the elk rut's a little bit slow to go. So some of these cool temperatures this week could be favorable. Then right after that, I'm off to Idaho for a chucker hunt. And then later in October, Nebraska for upland birds and waterfowl there, desert grouse and birds there. So as far as the chucker stuff goes, it's kind of like blacktail elk, any big game. The better shape you're going to be in, the better success you're going to have, because you're going to be able to reach where the animals are. One thing that still amazes me, even in archery season, I do quite a bit of scouting for deer in archery season, and that's just the number of road hunters who are out there, expecting to see something from the truck, or, driving and just parking off the edge of the road and glassing from the truck instead of getting out and walking and, spending hours glassing an area instead of just a few minutes and not seeing anything and going. These animals know the minute you pull up, and boy, if you're not patient enough and not gridding the area and glassing it for, like I say, hours on end, you drive off in 5 minutes, those animals will go back to what they were doing. So don't be in a hurry, but make sure that your scouting efforts are very efficient. And again, make sure you're in shape. It's not too late if you're a rifle tag holder to get in shape. Of course, those deer know the minute the gate opens. Public land blacktail hunting is tough, and a lot of road hunters are out there. Opening weekend, I usually hunt it just because I have the bucks pattern, and I try to get on a very specific deer at that time. But then I usually don't hunt that much in the afternoon or Sunday opening day, let it kind of cool down and try to, from the hunting pressure, and then get back out there during the weekdays.
That's a great point. I mean, certainly everybody wants to try to make things easy, right? But doing it the right way is never easy. Sometimes you just get lucky, everyone, like we are today to talk with Scott. When we come back from this break, Scott, I certainly want to talk to you about some of the things that people should be doing, getting prepared for this upcoming hunt. You talked about scouting, making sure that you're getting away from everybody else, but let's find out what you should have been doing to this point and maybe prior to that season getting going with your gear, which is obviously so important. So make sure everyone you stick with us here on KPDX. We'll be back with Scott Haugen in just a couple of minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive new Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.